Have you heard of Telstra before? If you're going to visit Australia, then Telstra may be the biggest telecom provider in Australia. But how good is their prepaid line? In this review, we're gonna talk about Telstra prepaid to figure out if they are the best prepaid SIM card out there for travelers to Australia. Let's do this. So, Telstra. Telstra is the biggest telecom provider in Australia. They have around 18 million customers, whereas Optus, the second largest, has about 7 million. So Telstra is the biggest, but are they also the best? Sometimes being the biggest means that you are the best, and sometimes it doesn't mean that. In this case, it is. There's a general consensus that if you go to the Outback, so you go into the middle of Australia looking for kangaroos or koalas, that you will still have connection with Telstra, whereas with Optus and Vodafone, the other big telecom providers, you might get some connection or you get absolutely nothing. So if you're planning on going to the middle of nowhere, Telstra is your bet. So how much does a Telstra SIM card cost? The usual starter price costs $2. If you go to a kiosk, vendor, even a Telstra store, you can buy a SIM card without any package for $2. In this case, I bought the one for $10, which gave me 1 gigabyte for 7 days for review purposes. They also go all the way up to $60, which some amount of gigabytes, which you will see on the screen right now. So you will have a lot of choice. If you're staying longer, then you can get more gigabytes, and if you're just staying for a week, for example, then the $10 or the $20 one version could be a good fit. How do you buy a Telstra SIM card? As I already said, in my case, I went to a Telstra store because I wanted to see how it is to actually get one and how to get it activated. Initially, when I went to the Telstra store, I forgot to bring my passport. In Australia, you have to register yourself when buying a SIM card, like some countries in Oceania or Asia Pacific, however you want to refer to it. They recommended me to come back with my passport so they could register it for me, or I could call the customer service to register it to a cup. And once it was activated, the sales clerk put the SIM card in my phone and it worked instantly, so I didn't have to wait an hour or a full day before I could get started. One thing that's actually useful if you're interested in using Wi-Fi hotspots with Telstra SIM card is that you can connect with Telstra Air, where you can connect to the hotspots of old telephone booths or Telstra Air connection throughout the city or the country, in cafes, hotels, restaurants, all over the place. And even prepaid customers can take advantage of it, so if you don't want to use your data, you can connect to the Wi-Fi hotspot for free for no additional charge, which I think is a nice addition. Now that I've talked enough about Telstra, it's time to test it. So let's go out and see what the speeds we get in Melbourne. Right now I'm in Melbourne, which means that the speed and the connection will be much better than if you go to the middle of nowhere. That's part of this methodology, but most tourists usually go to the big city, so it will be useful for you. Keep in mind that if you go out to towns, rural Australia, your connection or speed may be lower or slower than I present in this video. With that said, let's take the SIM card to the test. So I'm now outside in the beautiful botanical gardens in Melbourne, where we're gonna test the Telstra prepaid SIM card. But before we do so, let me actually show you what you actually get when you buy this prepaid SIM card. So when you buy a Telstra SIM card, you get this lovely looking booklet. When you open it, you get some activation instructions on what to do if you activate it online yourself. Well, of course, you get the SIM card, which I'm gonna take out right now. My SIM card is already in my phone, so you can see it has a triple SIM card. So you have nano, micro and the standard SIM card. So if you have different type of phones, you can just push it out to get what you want. Most phones nowadays use nano, so if you have a nano phone or whatever, you can use this. Here you will have your phone number and your IMAE, which I'm gonna cover for, well, obvious reasons, of course. And yeah, it's very straightforward. And you also get an ejection tool, usually, but I lost mine already, so I can't really show it. But yeah. Alright, so it's now time to do the actual speed test to see if Telstra is indeed the fastest and the best telecom provider out there. I'm using the Speedtest app from speedtest.net, and let's see what we get. It's now connected, and look at that, we get 100 plus we even hit 130. And the best part of this is that we're now using prepaid. Usually when you're with a provider, the prepaid speed is a bit slower than if you're on postpaid or on a plan. Here we hit 135, which is, well, amazing. I haven't had this high speeds in a long time, so I'm very impressed. Upload speed is of course always slower than download. Here we get, looks like we will stay around 11, which is decent. So with Telstra we got 135 download and 11 upload. In Melbourne, of course, your speeds will be much lower when you are in the Outback, but I'm pleasantly surprised by Telstra's performance. So yeah, good job Telstra. And if you like speed, Telstra might be your bet. So that was my review about Telstra. I'm actually extremely surprised about the high speeds we got even with prepaid. I would highly recommend Telstra if you are really into speeds, because you will get high speeds, especially in cities. Of course your speeds will be much lower when you go to the Outback. So make sure to press like if you enjoyed this video, comment down below, and make sure to subscribe to Phone Travel Wiz. And if you want to read local SIM card guides about places all over the world, make sure to check out my blog at phonetravelwiz.com. And if you want to learn more about the best SIM card in Australia, it's Telstra. But if you still feel like watching a comparison video, make sure to check which video up here or there, one of the two. And I shall see you the next time. Bye bye.